Alright, hello. We're going to be looking at this thing. Maybe this is the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse right here? I'm going to explain why. Okay, we need Medeco chart, the chart of the rain, and we're going to go look at this image placed in that chart, and we'll see what it looks like and why that could potentially be the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Okay, let's go straight to this thing. What have we got going on here? So this is the top of the courthouse here. This is the top of the clock tower. Notice that I have the 14 as the face of the clock. Remember, the time on the clock is 10:04. Okay, remove the zeros and it's a number 14. Alright, anyway, I've shown you all. There's a ton of stuff here that connects to Back to the Future. And you remember a little while ago we were looking at that picture of Marty with his siblings, and then we were doing the spot the difference with the Eric version, and at some point anyway, there's obviously a Mickey Mouse head shirt there in the picture, and the Mickey Mouse, at some point I put the ears in here, something like this. I can't remember exactly. It was something like this, and we had Mickey Mouse in here as a reference. Okay, now again, there's a whole bunch of stuff that ties to this. I mean, I just don't know where to even start with it. I mean, the references are just crazy, really, but what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the idea of Mickey Mouse and Pluto now, okay? Because Pluto's the dog, okay, of Mickey Mouse, and that's the thing that's returning now. So if you were liken, well, the dog in reverse is God, and the idea of the Holy Spirit returning, Pluto looks like a little moon, really, and this thing's coming back round, and it's coming back, excuse me, back to the Earth, okay? So this is like the Holy Spirit returning, if you like. Maybe that's the symbolism there. I don't know. But anyway, in relationship to, again, to the beginning of the United States, to maybe the rebirth, a changeover with the United States, the death and rebirth of the United States? I don't know. But anyway, that thing is returning. Pluto is returning. Mickey Mouse's dog is returning. Now, what's interesting about this stuff right here is we're going to go through some Pluto numbers right now, so you can see why this particular part of the table refers to Pluto, and also why it refers to Mickey Mouse. So the first thing to note is that Mickey Mouse's birthday is right here, the 18th of November, okay? That's important, okay, because Mickey Mouse's birthday is going to join with, let's put it in a different color now. We're going to have to split off here, okay? Split that one down the middle, and we're going to have to come across, and we're going to have to grab this 7 here and come back around, and what I'm showing you here is a balanced number for Pluto's birthday, if you like. A bit like we had where Christmas lies, is a balance between the sun and the moon. Okay, the date at where Christmas is placed in our calendar is a balance between the sun and the moon. It's not just the rebirth of just the sun. Okay, that's important to note, that there's a balance there between those two things. So there's a balance between two cycles, if you like, and this is the same thing with Pluto. I think with this Pluto date here of 1/1/17, that date is a balance within the cycles of Pluto. And when I'm talking about the cycles of Pluto, we've got two sets of numbers. We've got 90,000 560 days, okay, which is just a smidgen under 248 years, okay, just a smidgen, but it's rounded to 248 years. And then what I did, whether this is right or not, is I figured out a cycle for where Pluto, if you were looking at the cycle as a synodic cycle now in relationship to the sun, where the sun would come back into balance with Pluto again, okay, and do a complete cycle of the sun, and where that would, where Pluto would join up with that, basically. I don't know how to explain it, but it's in a previous decode. But anyway, the number for that is 90,000. So I have to write this over here pretty rough. 140. Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at these numbers now in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And in fact, what we're going to actually do is we're going to look at this number here in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And we're going to see where some of these number jumps take us, okay? So the first thing to note is our first number jump. Let's do a different color. Our first number jump is right here with the numbers, okay? Stick some zeros in there and we've got it. Look at that. We've just got to stick a 0 in there and a 0 on the end, and we've got the right number. So this 914 here, we've got right here. This is the cycle, okay? Or at least the first date in the cycle. Now that's going to take us to a very interesting date. Again, that's going to take us to, let's do the royal color for, so this is getting a little complicated, but this is the Queen's birthday right here, and this is the date it takes us to. Okay, let's read these numbers the right way around or whatever, but it's 214, the 21st of April. Okay, that is our 90,140 day jump from the birth of the USA, yeah, the 4th of July 1776. Okay, so the birth of the USA takes us through with this synodic solar, I don't even know what the correct word to describe it, reset, I don't know what the word to describe it is, but it's a full solar convergence, I guess, of Pluto and the sun in relationship to the day of the birth of the United States of America. Okay, that takes us to the Queen's birthday, 2023. Okay, so you can see the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is filling up here. All right. Now, what is also interesting, let's get rid of some of this now, because otherwise we're going to be on top of we're just not going to be able to see what we're doing. What is also interesting, let's go green now, is that we can take this 14 and the 20, we can take the same numbers here, and if we split this 14 in half, okay, we can now make our two number jumps to get halfway through the cycle. Well, what would I say halfway through the cycle? To get to a balance point between these two cycles here, between these two numbers. And the other number that we can make in here will take us all the way to this number here. Okay, so we're going to go halfway between these two numbers and then all the way to the 90,560 day. Okay, so bear with me. Hang on a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the first number jump is 210 days. Okay, so we're going to get that out of those numbers as well. We can just take that 1 and the 20 and we can make 210. And then the second number jump is 420 days. Okay, 420. So there's our two number jumps that we've created out of these numbers here. Okay, again, the Queen's the start numbers were there, and now the Queen's numbers are there. you know, that's the start number, and then we can get the 2 number jumps out of there that we need to move on in this cycle, right? Guess where 210 days takes us? 210 days takes us to, well, let's write it up here, this day here, this right here in the table. Okay, it takes us to the 17th of November 2023. So that is pretty interesting, that is the that's the balance point, okay, between the 2 different types of orbits of Pluto, okay, between this top one's a side rail, okay, or sidereal, however you want to say that, 90,560 days, okay, and then this bottom one is my kind of synodic adjusted for convergence back at the same point in the solar cycle, if that makes sense, okay? So our next number jump, we can take this, you know, we can take this 4 and stick it on the front of here, and we can make this 420, okay? Now the 420, the 420-day number jump, you know, add 420 to this 140 on the end of here, and we're getting the 560, okay? So this is completing the cycle now, this 420 days. So when we go 420 days, it's taken us to this date, but the only thing we have to do is we just have to flip this 9 to a 6. That ain't too difficult, is it? So 614 is the trumpet sounding, okay? The completion of the cycle is the trumpet sounding, okay? Trump's birthday. Wowzers. So there's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse explained. What is going on? Mickey Mouse's dog is returning, yeah? And what is also interesting about this year, because it's a leap year, what that does with the numbers, let me show you this. Let's go to this. Let's go to this. What have we got here? November. So this is, so let's just go to a normal year. Where would that be? Here. Let's go to a normal year. The 17th of November in a normal year is 44 days left, is 321. It's a countdown. So this last November the 17th was the final countdown, 321. Okay, this was the balance point in that Pluto cycle, right? And the number 44, right? But in a leap year, something special is happening. Okay, and also just note that the 18th, remember the skull and crossbones, the 322. Remember, that's what's happening with the cross that is being formed by the moon over the United States of America. Okay, the two bones are the cross, which I think it was Lambda that pointed this out in one of his videos. The 2 bones of the cross. Well, what we got to remember is, what is the skull? The skull is actually the moon. If you look at the moon and look at the seas on the moon, it forms a kind of skull with the, you know, the kind of dark indented portions, which would be like the eye sockets and the nose and everything. The skull is the moon. That skull is coming across the crossbones. Balance in the chart of Lorraine is 1118. That center point. Okay. And again, 322 with the skull and bones. Okay. So anyway, what's interesting about this year is that those 2 things. Here's November. If we look at the 17th of November for a leap year, that has now become 322, 44 days left. Okay, it's conjoined with, it's kind of taken some of the numbers for 1118, this 322. It's just interesting. I don't know how you want to look at that, whether it's referencing balance or whether it's, I don't know, but it's just interesting, right? And the other thing that's interesting as well is what we've not got to forget is that the February, the 13th is the same number. Okay, normally it would be the 17th. Okay, normally, am I doing this the right way around? No, normally that would be the what am I trying to say here? That usually stays the 44th day of the year, but because of the switch here, because we've got an extra day in here, this is switched. Okay, I don't know if you're following that. Okay, but normally that would match up with the 17th. But this year it's also changed somewhat, not completely, just because of where the extra day goes in the year. But without me getting really confused, okay, this number here is switched, right? So that is also interesting. That it's kind of also got this reference back to a balance of 1118 now, okay? If that makes sense. And I don't even know if I'm even saying that right, but just go look at the numbers for a normal year and that year and you can figure out for yourself. Anyway, was there anything else I wanted to say about this Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Not really, apart from, you know, the 213 obviously is our crazy day for, and also the 42 again with the 420 day completion on 211. I mean, you know, what else do I say? Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and again when we put the ears, and let's get rid of some of this again. Oh dear, do we need all this on here? No, let's get rid of that there as well. But you know, again, when we've got Mickey Mouse's head here and the ears are right here, you know, wowzers again. You know, let's make his thing a bit bigger there. But Mickey Mouse, okay, and Pluto, and there's these things right here. Pretty darn right mental, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm leaving it there. That's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse explained, and then we'll go on and I'll do a couple of, get rid of some of these other tabs I've got in here. Okay, alright, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on another one here real soon. Alright, cheers, bye.